Me again. This time with my latest dummy construction. I hope you can see the family resemblance. Basically that means it has, the dummy has my shoulder height and my head height. Otherwise, as you can see, it's not quite resembling myself, but like I said, it has my height. As you can see, this is made completely out of PVC pipes, and the weight down there is actually my iron palm bag because the stand has yet some construction issues. The whole thing came to me as an idea when I was visiting the hardware store on a totally different kind of business. And, but I was thinking about a humaniform dummy. In other words, a dummy that I could configure exactly like a human. And that is the basic idea. This thingy has arms. I have lots of PVC pipes as spare parts, and if I want some other arm in, that's very easy. I just put that in, and here we go. I have another arm. So what can I do with that? So obviously, let's see that from the side. I could do some Hubert kind of training, and as you see, the arm moves extremely easy. And that is the whole point. So nothing is glued, it's just stick together, and I can easily remove every part of it. Later on I maybe even give the thingy hips and legs, and the whole point for this is not to be sturdy, the whole point for this is to be barely more resisting than air itself. So I can test everything on something that resembles exactly the configuration of a human arm. If you will look, there you have it. Even exactly the same length, on the same shoulder height. So I mean, if I don't watch out, the whole thing will still go forward. Like I said, it has contraction issues yet. It was a very spontaneous idea that I had in the hardware store, and this is my first experiment, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I can go very slow-mo and check stuff out. For instance, if the arm is like this, what can I practice? Slap, undercut, slap control, punch. Oh, he blocked me here. Now I can go with feeling the thingy, seeing the thingy, using my imagination. What if the energy comes in a certain way? Then I will be pressed in a box now and go over here. Or what is the energy goes in another way? Then I will be pressed in a more tansau, can go for laugh and go for here. So this allows me to play, literally play around. So you could say this is a plaything, or you could say this is a scholar's dummy. What I would like to show right now is what I call the boxer, the orthodox boxing setup. So you have, as you can see, the left arm is the lead arm. You see, the left arm leading, the front arm, the right arm is back. You can even give this thing a twist, as you can see. And you can see this resembles a boxing stance, at least the arm configuration. So now I can practice all the kind of stuff that might be. I can have an open boxer, a closed boxer. I can put it, and yeah, you see how easily it is disarmed. And this is by design. I want it to be very mobile and easily to be dismantled. This is to play around. And now what can I do? Say I want to attack the boxer. Oh, the jab comes in here. Now I go like this. Of course, this is really for sensitivity, for playing around, for thinking. This is a thinking tool more than a practice tool, thinking and playing. Now let's say I practiced this move, found out that might work. Of course, the next thing I do is I go out to my sturdy dummy, see my other wooden dummy videos, and go to the completely unyielding dummy and check out if I can actually make this work with something that resists. That would be the next step. If it works, fine, then I will try it on a partner. If it doesn't work, also fine, then I won't make it work at all. I can also see, let's say I have an idea somewhere outside walking at work, for something and want to see if it works. So now I come in, slap, go like this, see if it works. If I can make it work on my toy dummy, then it's worth trying out maybe on a partner or on the wooden dummy. But if it is, say, something that I cannot even make work on the toy dummy because something is wrong, then I know it's not worth practicing or experimenting any further. And like I said, especially if you want to go into something like clinching or trapping and really want to understand the positions in depth, you either need an extremely patient partner who goes to go into this position again. No, go into this position again. No, please go back. You will drive any kind of partner crazy, except perhaps a Zen monk. But you won't drive this fellow crazy. So let us say I want to try out all the possibilities that come to mind when I do this first simple trap. Attack, he blocks, I slap, I go for a punch. Good, that's possible. The same thing is possible out of a backhand motion. Backhand, punch, slap, punch. Now, of course, the same is also possible. Backhand slap, oh, he blocks me. I can go into this, I can go into a Hubbard-like motion, and I can explore all this and hit the replay button as often as I wish. So this is really just to explore, learn, think. This is both in the way in which it is constructed and in what it is intended for, a tinkering toy, a tinker toy, a Tinkerbell you might call it. Tinkerbell dummy, I think that is a nice name, because that is exactly what it is for, tinkering. Like I said, both in the way in which I constructed Tinkerbell and what it is for. This is for combat tinkering. I mean, this is almost resembling a Wing Chun stance. And of course, I could practice attacking. I close my eyes, somehow go in, find my arms in the position, and now what are the possibilities to do? What could I do from here? What could Tinkerbell do from here? And Tinkerbell is nice enough to always move her arms along with what I do. So I have a good idea of just structure-wise how a human being might move and react. Now you will say, but this doesn't give any resistance. No, Tinkerbell doesn't give any resistance. She is not designed for giving resistance. The whole idea is for her to be completely soft, pliable. This is the ultimate compliant partner. And like I said, for a good reason. Now let us say, for whatever reason, I want to explore stick fighting. So what do? I give Tinkerbell a stick in her hand. I'm not sure if this will hold, but you see, this resembles somebody with a stick, right? So, let's just put the stick in here. I can even use my other arm to make it come in. As you see, it's not perfect, and I also wanted to inspire you to perhaps go out, come up with your own contraptions, because I find this an extremely valuable tool. And each of these parts cost me 99 euro cent, except for the T-pieces, which were 169. The whole thingy came under 30 bucks. And it's extremely versatile. Like I said down there, that's my iron palm bag, which now found a second use as a way to make it stand. It's missing the arms, but it can't even turn. So let's see. Now that I've advertised it, it's just stuck together. Let's see what we can actually do and do some positional analysis so that you don't only see me bragging about my latest contraption. Let's see. Let's say I fight from the right lead and with a right forward stance. and I go forward and come up on top of Tinkerbell's left arm. And this is happening on my way forward. What could happen? I could just plain go in, hit, sink in, turn this arm out before I come in, walk in, block, uppercut, go in the thumb with the eye, something like this. I can practice this until I'm familiar with what's going on. Try to do this a little bit faster. This is what may actually happen. I go in and the other guy just goes back. So this is not a design flaw but a design feature. This is something that I might not have thought about when I was going slow. I was going faster and suddenly the whole thing goes back. Yeah, that may happen. And though my uppercut goes into the empty space. So I have to adjust for that. One way to adjust for it is by stabilizing the dummy. The other way to adjust for that is to adjust my movement, because it may very well happen that a guy reacts if I come in the I mean, come on! Instinctively, lots of guys will go back, and my nice technique will end up in empty air, and then the guy comes back with a vengeance. Tinkerbell does not yet come back with a vengeance, but the going away part, if I do it wrong. Okay, what do I do from here? What are my options? Knowing that Tinkerbell will come back. See? That is one of the things that you can learn with someone who is never ever complaining. This thing doesn't even make a lot of noise. You can use it in the middle of the night when you cannot sleep. But let's continue. So, see, that's it. What did I do different? Slap, bounce, come in here and hook. Now Tinkerbell cannot go back. And if this is a real guy going back, he pulls me in with this arm and his whole weight on this hook. Now that I have discovered this, I practice it a few times, and next time I practice with one of my friends who has the necessary body weight, I will practice this move for real. And I just more or less came up with that move while I was making the video. So, this is a creative tool. But let's continue. So, I go in, bouncy, like this. And I'm ending underhanded here. I may very well end upperhanded, doing the check like this. So, I can analyze the different positions. I mean, Wing Chun will tell you there is only 4 positions. Completely on the outside, completely on the inside. My right arm up and my left arm down, or my left arm up and my right arm down. Any wrestler can tell you that this is not true, because this may also happen below my elbow line, so there are 8 positions. And if you go into it, you will find many more. All of these positions are reference points, or can be understood as reference points for trapping. This is the standard reference point which everybody will learn trapping. If I want to learn something different, I will make it like this. Then I have the next standard reference point for trapping. And so forth. So, what else could be done? Let's say he has me in a clench position. I'm in a clench position. What could I do? I could learn to do elbow stuff, or I could learn some wrestling stuff, and I can go through the motions with exactly the way in which you learn all of this stuff. Even in wrestling, the sport with the most resistance in sparring, you start with a complying opponent, compliant with a cooperating opponent, so you learn the move before you learn how if you can do it under pressure. You see, this is not a well thought out program because I'm still toying and tinkering around with that stuff. I don't know if you know Too Fast to Block. Link as seen here. He has a come up with some pneumatic arms that suddenly shoot out. I think this contraption and what he has come up with in combination would make a great tool, because imagine that Tinkerbell would suddenly just shoot out the arm. That would also give you a great reactionary tool. Maybe I will build something like this later. For the moment, like I said, this is a great tool to study specific stuff and to study exactly what is possible. Because I can come in like this in a very Tai Chi-ish mindset, reacting. If I pull out my jacket for a moment, I could now make this very Tai Chi-ish, according to the Tai Chi classic. If a fly lands on him, he will change. So I come in very slowly, sense the pressure that Tinkerbell is giving me, and flow along with that pressure. Now the same entry and a different position I'm in. How do I naturally flow? If I do that very slow-mo, my eyes closed, I am dancing around, something that I have been doing on the sturdy dummy as well, and now I go forward, having no idea what I will find. I just do something. I don't know how it is. My eyes are closed. And now I go in and work with whatever I find. This is, like I said, very, very, very tappy and soft. If you have found out something that is worthwhile, now it's the time to go out and do some wacky stuff on the hard wooden dummy, or if you don't have one, try it out on a concrete wall or on a stronger partner. Like I said, this is a tool for tinkering, thinking, maybe even inventing stuff that I can put into any configuration. Like I said, it's easy enough to do other stuff. If I want it, I could give it. What you might refer to as a typical karate configuration, where there is one block and one punch. Block, punch, which is much more open. I mean, this is probably how I would stand, because like I said, the thing has shoulders as broad as mine, as high as mine, and the arm length is, look, pretty much like mine. So I can practice against me doing karate. So I got blocked, this thingy comes out, bang. Or I get blocked, this thingy comes out. So I can practice all kinds of stuff. And I can practice it without any fear of injury, literally without pressure. So this is a without pressure design that is moving upon the slightest touch, which is like I said again, designed to do. Like I said, hips are still missing. The stand is not so ingenious either, because quite frankly I'm not so happy to use my iron palm bag as a weight for this, so I will improve on this, and perhaps more videos will come. Like I said, it does not have yet any legs. So there is much more in there. And the idea is, like I said, that it has exactly as many joints. So out there, the wooden dummy in the Shaolin setup is an abstract dummy. This is a concrete dummy in that I can set it exactly like a human. don't know how long this video now was. Perhaps, yeah, we could also just practice brutal, wacky World War II combatives, where you just get used to crushing through everything the other guy has got. You get used to something is there and you crush it. When you have a good way of doing this, now is the time to go find the buddy who is wearing pads, is going into the same configuration, giving you the resistance, and you crash it down. The advantage is here, I can, as you can see, really destroy the dummy and easily repair it. I cannot do that with my buddy. But here, what I actually did was not tear the arm off. What I actually did was, this is my hand. I actually just went with my thumb into the eye and really whacked the thingy. And I cannot do that with my wooden dummy because it is not really built like a human. I cannot do the same thing with a human either. Do that, thumb in the eye with a human once, and probably you face criminal charges and certainly will have one training partner less. Whereas now, this, two things, and Tinkerbell is good to go again. So I can practice a lot of stuff that I cannot practice with a human being and that I cannot practice with a wooden dummy, especially because she's so light built. I think that was enough to give you an inspiration. I'm looking forward, this time not so much to your comments as I'm looking forward to seeing video responses where you come up with your own contraptions. And I'm certain many of you have thought about, this is stupid what he does there, this and that would be a better way to do it. And quite frankly, please, 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 make a video response showing a contraption of your own, because this is my open challenge invitation to come up with cheap dummies for specialized purposes, cheap dummies that actually simulate a human being. And like I said, Bob doesn't have arms, you know, the Bob punch me. A wooden dummy is a very abstract thing. A real human, you cannot go for an arm break move with a real human where you really go fully through. The worst thing that could happen when I do that with Tinkerbell is that I tear an arm off and put it on again. Yeah, I think that's it. So if you have ideas, this just costs a few bucks, a little bit of creativity and tinkering around. I always go into the same hardware store. Already they know me there, so when I'm tinkering around with stuff, the personnel won't come and tell me you are not supposed to do this. If you break it, you have to pay it. They already know that I pay what I use or break. So don't do this in an anonymous big hardware store. I do this where my crazy ideas no longer get me raised eyebrows. They understand what the true purpose of a hardware store is. It is for interested people to go in, try stuff out, buy what they need, and build it. Hardware stores are for building. So, and that's it. Tinkerbell, the toy dummy, scholars dummy, scientists dummy, tinkering dummy, in any sense of the word. Please show me your video responses. Thanks for watching. Thanks for indulging my vices and my whims this time. Take care. Have a nice day.